All right, it's 28 minutes past 4 o'clock. All clear, race 1 at Gloucester Park. And the numbers there were 10, 7, 8 and 5. You had those dividends from Richie Bell. Night Sniper winning there for Ryan Warwick. Race 2 goes in 25 and very, very short. Major Typhoon, $1.45. Exciting time in harness racing. WA Derby this Friday night. The Golden Nugget not far away. WA Pacing Cup is getting ever closer as well. And one of the biggest names in harness racing, Greg Bond, is about to join us. Good afternoon, Bondy. How are you?
Good, Alex. Riley, how are we going today, guys?
Very well, Bondy. Good to have you joining us on the program this afternoon. How are things in readiness? A couple of runners I see in race number 3 this evening.
Yes, we just got 2 in there tonight. The 2 fillies, they're actually going to back up into Friday night as well. Drawn the outside marbles, and there's 3 or 4 inside us with good gate speed and a fair bit of ability. So probably think they'll be driven both with a sit tonight, and if there's a good tempo in the race, they're both racing quite well. Been probably racing in reasonably stronger company than tonight in general. We're going to need a few breaks, but I'm sure you'll see them both hit the line nice and strong.
Do you have a lean to one over the other potentially? Kinky's at $8 currently, and Delulu with Denny Roberts in the chair at $9.50.
They're both cranky females, actually. So you're not quite sure what you're going to get sometimes. Kinky can have a bit of a buck and a double barrel, and Delulu likes to run out the gate. So they've been a work in progress for a fair while now, but probably on tonight's thing, I would think Delulu's probably the better chance, but I think longer term, I think Kinky's going to be the horse that'll do a better job. But she's come along slower than Delulu, but I think at the end of the day, she'll be the better filly/mare.
Now, it's, as we said, an exciting time, Bondy, with a lot of the feature races that we have on the harness racing calendar coming up. And as always, you'll be very prominent in a lot of those races. What's occurring with Better Fortune? Well, will Better Fortune not be going around in the WA Derby?
He won the Western Gateway, and everything seemed okay with him. And I didn't pick anything up, but he just had a minor little bump on a tendon, which, when Sky said, just not 100% happy, and I had a look, I said, which one are you talking about, sort of thing, and you could see it a little bit there. And anyway, we let it settle just for a couple of days down the beach, and he was sound and everything, but we obviously got a scan as a precautionary measure late last week, and there's no hole in the tendon, but there is a little bit of sort of fibre damage, you might say, but there's not a hole. And the vet sort of said you could persevere with another run and probably get away with it, but we just got that much time for the horse, and obviously horse welfare comes into it, but also we just got that much time for the horse that we elected to reluctantly not proceed, and hopefully we'll be rewarded in seasons to come for the decision. So
out for a break now. Do you have any plans at this stage as what you might do next preparation, or when the pacer might be in next, what you might target?
Oh, look, as you're probably aware with our season, like our major 4-year-olds are coming up now, so, they're late October into November. So you've got all of next season to, run them, work them through the grades. Obviously, there's some nice 4-year-old races up on the way through, so we'll obviously target them with him as well. I mean, had he come through the Derby and everything had been ship shape, we actually sort of had plans to take him to Sydney for the Chariots early next year, which was what we were privately planning to do, but that's not going to happen now. We'll just get him back. We'll get him fit and sound, and we'll just probably handpick his races. I mean, he's only had 7 lifetime starts, I think, or 8 lifetime starts as we speak. So he's still got to learn about racing. He still can get a bit revved up in a run and then come back underneath you. So there's still an element of greenness with his racing, which will disappear, and his ring craft will really improve with more racing when he comes back. So we'll just take a conservative approach with him and try and make sure he's ready for the races that matter.
Can I ask about the situation with, by the way, that would have been exciting to see that horse in the Chariots, but regardless, we'll see what does occur, and hopefully it comes back bigger and better. Can I ask about the situation regarding Artie by the Seaside there? It was scratched last Friday night, and I believe she was in foal or was in season, and just talk us through the situation with that mare and when we'll see her next.
Yeah, just a timing thing. Unfortunately, we've just been looking to get her infile and flush an embryo out of her, so she can continue on a racing pattern. And unfortunately, the timing and the cycle for her, we had to inseminate her between midday and 4 p.m. on Friday, day of the race. So that was the reason why she had to come out. If we could have done her a day later, she would have raced. But that wasn't the case, and we took the option to get a foal out of her a year earlier. She's a quality mare, as you know, and we took that option. So she'll, all being well, she'll get that embryo flushed this Friday or Saturday. So she's in full work at home, and you'll see her race on the 7th of November in the first Mares Classic in just under be a week this Friday.
Beautiful. Okay, well, there we go. So no major concerns there with Arctic by the Seaside going forward. Tualoo, do we see that pacer go around this weekend in the Nugget Prelude?
Yes, he will be, mate. He's going around. He'll have his third run back. That was our plan after winning the Prelude and being an automatic into the Nugget. We thought we'd leave last week's big race alone because he had raced twice in a week from 2 weeks in a row from a break. He's drawn out wide on Friday night in barrier 8. So again, we'll probably drive him with a degree of conservatism, let him hit the line, and hopefully we can snag an arm in the Nugget Friday week and make our presence felt there as well.
How confident are you that he can make his presence felt in that race?
Oh, I think like a lot of horses, Riley, he probably needs the, if you get the right run and the right sort of tempo. Now, you saw what happened in the Prelude. He drew wide there. Denny got him into a great spot early, but then there was a lot of mid-race pressure. He put him away with a degree of comfort, actually. So, and there's a lot of horses like him, with similar ability that if they get the right trip, they can... They can win those sort of races, and he definitely fits that category.
Who would be your number one seed, Greg, heading towards the Golden Nugget? Because if you've got some bullets to fire.
Yeah, look, Just Call Me Mickey's always been the one. His run in the Classic the other night probably looked a little bit worse than what it was because, it was such a slowly run race and we were back in the pack a bit. And when Denny went, which is when she had to go, she's sort of come 3 deep and they've run a 55 second half getting home and he was out 3 deep without cover. So, and he pulled up great from the run. Everything at home's good with him. But Golden Lode's definitely a horse that Sky and I got a huge amount of time for. He got blocked for a run in the Classic last Friday night. Chris actually rang me the other day and just was saying, "Oh, geez, what a beautiful horse! I wish I could have got a crack at him, But that's racing. That's how it goes. There's plenty of hard luck stories in our game. So, but yeah, look, he's one that. I think it's as good a chance as any as Just Call Me Mickey in the Nugget. And again, they all need a little bit of racing luck somewhere along the line. But they're both two horses that are more than capable of taking advantage of any bit of luck they get.
Very exciting. How about the WA Derby this week? It looks like you'll have 5 horses competing. Could you lead us into a number 1 or 2 seed there? Would it be number 1 Rumble Strip at the top?
Look, we've sort of probably Troubadour's a horse for us that's been sitting in the shadow of Better Fortune a little bit. We haven't had him that long. We have had him a little while, but we haven't had a lot of starts with him. But some of his work at home makes us think that he was probably our number 2 seed, and with Better Fortune not being there. And barrier 4 he's got, so I think he should be able to work into a nice spot there. He seems to be a really progressive horse for us.
Will Denny drive Troubadour?
I would think so. I haven't spoken to her yet, but I would think she. When in fact, you could probably lock that in. I would think, she was. She made her mind up after the unfortunate circumstances with Better Fortune. She was always probably going to be him unless there was a real big pull in the barriers somewhere with one of our other chances. So, so he's probably our number 1 seed, I would think, from our stable. Rumble Strip's right in it. He was super last Friday night, sitting in the breeze in a 35.5 lead time, and then continuing to hold his spot and run a very strong second. They're probably our main two. Mad Monday was great last week, but Barrier 8's going to dent his chances. Belly Up is a horse that can take advantage of a wide gate because he's generally sat up, sit and sprint anyway, as you've seen in some of his races. But he's going to have his work cut out, and when in Vegas from 12's probably in a similar boat. So, it probably comes down to Rumble Strip and Troubadour for our stables as probably two that can win it, but leaning to Troubadour, yeah.
Okay, and it's a big night for you on Friday night, as you'd expect, being such a big night. But we see in the free-for-all a few of your absolute stars of your stable, Gee He's a Sport, Lusaka and Minstrel, all going around. They haven't been dealt too many favours with the barrier draw. It's an interesting barrier draw, actually. Mr. Smarty's drawn there in 6, Hillview Bondo 2, Swing Band in 4. But Lusaka's got 5, Gee He's a Sport 7 and Minstrel 9. What are you looking to garner from this race on Friday night? I'm guess with all three sort of aiming towards a WA Pacing Cup in just over a month.
Yeah, we sort of picked out. There was 2 races on the program. One was a random barrier draw free-for-all as well, so we were hoping to split our horses. Unfortunately, that race didn't go ahead through lack of nominations. This race, Minstrel was always going to draw barrier 9 because of the conditions on the race. He's a Sport was always going to draw wide, and Lusaka was probably going to draw the best of the 120 rated horses. So we just have to take what we got this Friday night. But look, all 3 horses are going along great at home. Minstrel's obviously our number 1 seed, but Mr. Smarty down in 6, he's going to take a hell of beating. But yeah, and you've got Better Eclipse having his first run from Victoria. His ability's unquestionable, and Never Ending's probably ready to pop up and do his thing too. So yeah. Probably just hope they all get around, run good races, which I'm sure they will, and hopefully pull up nice and sound, and they'll then head to the lead-ups for the Pacing Cup. There's a couple of $100,000 lead-up races for them during the month of November, and then into the Pacing Cup from there is the pathway mapped out for those 3.
How's Minstrel tracking? He was very good 3 weeks ago when he beat the stablemate home, but you've only raced him very sparingly in 2025 after that incredible Inter-Dominion campaign culminating in that second to Don Hugo. How have you seen his sort of last 6 to 9 months, and how's he tracking towards the WA Pacing Cup?
Yeah, good. Look, we're actually over the moon with him at home. His last start, I know he found the front, but he reeled off a great last half and a ripper last quarter, and Denny just come off with a big smile on the face. Said, how easy did he do that? And he's trained on at home. Can't be really any happier with him. He's right where we want him. We've got this start, and then he'll go into those 2 lead-up races, and then the Pacing Cup. So touch wood, everything stays good. He's right in the zone, which he needs to be from that barrier, but it's not so much about Friday night for us. It's about the better races coming. But yeah, we're happy as Larry with him at home, and the other 2 we're very happy with as well. But he's obviously the class horse in the stable. So I'm sure he'll run a good one. He'll have to do it tough, but he's done that before, and hopefully that'll again just top him off a bit more for the better races. Do
you have East Coast ambitions with any of your stars post the WA Pacing Cup?
Not really. We had nominated Minstrel for the New Zealand Cup. That was our.
Yep.
We were very keen to do that, and we just didn't work out. We couldn't work out how we could get there and then get back here for our Pacing Cup. So we thought about it long and hard, and probably with a couple of $100,000 lead-up races as well as the Pacing Cup, and that's going to be tough going with the depth of free-for-all as we got here. I mean, we've got a nice race here Friday night, but you haven't got Magnificent Storm there either. We thought about it long and hard, and the logistics of getting there. We had to fly to Melbourne, truck to Sydney, fly to Auckland, then fly to Christchurch and race, and then try and get home. And as much as we'd love to have a runner in a New Zealand Cup, it didn't go this time. So that was the call we made.
Hey, Bondi.
To answer your question, we haven't really got any travel plans for any of those free-for-allers, no.
It's been great to catch up with you, Bondi, this afternoon. Before we let you go, who's ticking all the boxes at home? Who's the best on Friday night?
Oh, on Friday night. Oh, how about I be nice and bold and say Troubadour in the Derby? There you go.
There we go. Troubadour from barrier number 4 in the Derby, Denny to drive, and the $200,000 Group 1 feature. Cannot wait. Hey, Greg, thank you so much for your time, mate. It's been great to catch up. We've garnered a lot of information about your stable from the last 10 minutes or so, so really do appreciate that, and best of luck on Friday night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.